guest. John Karlen is everyone's favorite rousing dark shadow. John Karlen is so enthusiastic and loves talking to the fans. Any of you who stood in line for John Karlen's autograph over the years know how he would engage. Just with incredible patience and interest. And John always had a passionate fire burning in his art and his soul. So into the fans. I'd like to introduce John Karlen's son, Adam Karlen, and John's caregiver extraordinaire, Tammy McArthur.
Pass by you quickly. Oh, sure. There's no one to speak of. She's not speaking to me, so I'm sorry. I know. Okay. She said she couldn't afford it, I think. Okay. She didn't want to come down and afford it. Okay. Thanks. She got upset because when CNN first played it, yes, she wasn't invited. But I didn't really invite her. She's
Now, Tammy also has a very special recording from John that's never been played before. And, John was at the very first convention, and he was at the last one 10 years ago in New York. So, without further ado, let me ask Adam, you're an only child, and you were son of John Karlen, and he was one extremely talented, smart, funny, and impossible kind of guy. And but he was your dad. And can you grab a mic here?
Yes.
Right there. Tammy just one too. And if you can hold the mic up close to the mouth, yeah. And but tell us what it was like growing up with a dad for an actor.
It's so funny, right away, I was sitting back there and a gentleman and his lady, they had a picture of Trilogy of Terror, which was also a Dan Curtis production. Now there was 3 shows on it, and my dad wasn't in the one with the monster, but I came home one day, I went to bed, and that monster was in my bed. The little guy that was stabbing everybody.
Zuni warrior.
It was a Zuni warrior, yes.
Doll.
So that gives you an idea. He would do stuff like that to me all the time. We got that fake bat that you would always see in the beginning of Dark Shadows. That was in the house quite a bit. And I wanted to make a shout out to Roger Davis. One of my dad's favorite things in the world was food. And he says, I went over to Roger's house, and I swear to God, the man cooked me the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. And he must have mentioned this 10 times over the years, so Roger must be one hell of a cook, I'll tell you.
Your dad was a foodie before the term I knew.
He was a foodie. But yeah, we used to go over to Jonathan's house all the time, and Jonathan Fred, and there was deep, dark curtains. I think he was trying to pull off the Bela Lugosi thing. Now, Bela used to ride around in the cape and stuff, but he was always very sweet to me when I was young. I think the show started the year I was born, 66, so
Yeah.
I was through it throughout those years, and then I started remembering things probably around 3, and a lot of stuff, and yeah, he was, Daddy was great. He was great. Great times, and as Jim knows, Jim was one of the few people that could handle my father well, and one of the few people he never said a bad word about. At least to me. And that's saying something.
He never told you about him getting us thrown off an airplane together.
I think I've heard that one.
And the whole cabin applauded as we were escorted.
As well they should have.
But then we got a first class flight right away, so he knew that acting up might have a desired response.
Yes.
But he was, your dad had taste, he had expectations, and your dad didn't have anything in the middle. It was always yin or yang, black or white, gray. I mean, he was passionate or he was pissed off.
You got it. And I don't think he ever did anything for show. It was just his gut reaction at that moment. It wasn't like he never had an agenda, let's put it that way. He didn't ever have an agenda, even though it may have seemed like it, but he didn't. I knew him pretty well. I mean, there was years where we didn't talk, just something would happen, and then we would run into each other at the racetrack and give each other a hug, and we'd be going out to lunch, throwing the football on the beach in Santa Monica again, and yeah, like nothing ever happened. That was Daddy. He was, yeah.
He was complicated, obviously.
Yes.
This made for great fire in his belly to be this wonderful character actor that he was awarded by his peers the Emmy.
Yes, yes.
He worked
yeah.
a hell of a lot.
Yeah, we awarded him during the Emmy. I got a picture of the Emmy. Tammy has his ashes, by the way.
You know what? As long as they're in an urn.
They're in a nice place, yeah.
He talked about going back to Brooklyn, and that's where he wanted to die. I said, well, maybe we can bury your ashes, because I don't think you're going to make it to Brooklyn. And I keep so one of the fans sent him a Christmas ornament, and it had the Brooklyn Bridge on it, and he loved that. And I have that with his ashes. And another fan they went to the Vatican, and they sent him a beautiful crucifix with a cross. It was just beautiful. Unfortunately, he broke things very easily.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter what I gave him, it was broken within a day or two. But I don't know, the TV, everything just went. I'd walk in the room like, what happened? One day he just got up and got disoriented and didn't go the bathroom direction and just took out the TV on the way. And he would just break things. But I still say just the cross. I think that Jesus got taken out, and it was beautiful. He loved it. And so I have that with his ashes.
Yeah, he loved to stop when we'd be places. He'd often like to stop if there was a Catholic church and
Yes.
go in, and he did have that connection, he had a lot of traditions. He was a Brooklyn boy, and he had how many sisters?
Oh, the
Three
sisters.
sisters.
I knew it was
Three sisters from Brooklyn. Mary, Irene. I went to the Lady of Chesterhover, lit a few candles, and it worked. That's what he won the Emmy.
Yes. I tell you, you were Willie Loomis Jr.
Yeah.
Your dad.
They say we have a couple things in common. I tried to take the good ones. I failed.
Your dad used a little bit of a slightly southern tinge to, at least early on with Willie.
He did.
You know, I mean, sometimes those things kind of over time kind of evaporate, but it seems to me earlier on he had a little bit more of that. And of course he played a defeated man, and so, you know, Dark Shadows is just so melodramatic, and having Shakespearean actors like Fred, and your dad was a graduate of the Actors Studio, and he was Robert Redford's best man in his first wedding.
Yes.
He worked at school, knew Jane Fonda, he called her Janie, and he had a very impactful, impressive resume for a guy that kind of escaped Brooklyn in the sense that his sister, he had that family, it wasn't the most functional, and he somehow got out into he was the most adventurous, is what I'm saying, intrepid of the family.
He got his mom to sign a waiver. He got a job putting toys together in Brooklyn, and he just realized he couldn't do it. He got his mom to sign a waiver that he could go into the Korean War at 16. And he did. And my father, I don't know if you know, he was blind in one eye completely. And they said, Johnny, you're not going to get in. You're blind, you won't get in. And smart as he was, when they gave him the eye test, the microphone is the pad. They went like this, he read one eye, and he said, the other eye, sir, and he went like this and switched it right back. And that got him into the Korean War, and then he came and went to the American Academy, and so the story goes, yeah. And then I remember the drive out. We drove back and forth from New York 3 times from the time I was 5 until 9 for different things. Dan was always very gracious and put him in many things, Winds of War and Trilogy of Terror and many other things, movies of the week. And
Is it the Dalton Gang? He's in the Melvin Perkins.
The Dalton, that's right.
Kansas City Massacre.
Kansas City Massacre.
Some of these other things, Frankenstein.
I had the pleasure of being, I rented the Harris Yulin several years ago, and he's doing that amazing show, the Ozarks. Anyway, yeah, they had a couple fun scenes on Kansas City Massacre.
Harris was one of Dan's players.
Yeah.
But, I was going to say, because your dad would leave Dark Shadows for months, and sometimes he'd pop up on a primetime TV show. He also did a short stint on another soap, Hidden Faces, that was kind of a gangster thing with Tony LoBianco. And your dad was out playing the field, and Dan Curtis allowed him to just come and go whenever they could do a story arc where Johnny's character wasn't needed. Of course, John ended up playing, probably 4 or 5 characters on the show with all the past timelines and things of that ilk. But and he got to play, he played the really flamboyant gay Blade. And have you ever seen the footage when he plays Carl Collins?
Yeah.
He's going around doing pranks and acting like the court
That's
jester.
right. I always forgot about that one. And when I saw it, it hit me the wrong way. I go, I had such an affinity for Willie, I guess. That's what I knew by. And then I saw him playing that, and it was so on the other side. It was strange. But it's, wow, my father. Pretty crazy dude, man. Pretty crazy. If anybody wants to ask any questions, be more than happy to answer them.
And I wanted to add,
I wanted to say, Tammy here, she took such unbelievable care of my father the last 7 years of his life. And I was desperate because he wasn't gonna stay in the folks' home because he couldn't eat that food anymore. And he says, you gotta get me out of here. Please, I love you. You gotta get me out of here.
Well, he was about to get kicked out.
Yeah.
They had to call the cops.
They had to call the cops. There was a man next to him that was comatose. I saw him the day before, and he came in, and he was comatose, and he was in the same room as my father. And his TV was on loud. This is the story I was told by the people there. And my dad is saying, you gotta shut your TV off. And the guy's just laying there comatose. My dad gets up, he can barely move, and he grabs the guy's channel changer. All of a sudden, the man grabs his arm. He said it felt like the strength of a gorilla. Anyway, they ended up tussling on the floor, and I get a call at 3 in the morning that the cops are at the old folks home. It's too insane to even try to figure out, but that was the gist I got from the story from everybody reporting it. My dad said his fucking TV was on too loud. I couldn't go to sleep. So he goes to grab it's insane. There's about 782 of those stories in a week with my dad. Like I said, he never did it for, you would almost think he did it for attention, but he didn't. He just reacted on the moment. That was it. That was it.
He had he always knew what he wanted, how he wanted, and it always had to be now. And but it was never dull with Johnny. And as I said, he would sit at the autograph tables, and every fan, he would have these lengthy conversations with. He and Laura Parker, he and Johnny and Laura. So we kind of always put them in their own place because he really enjoyed just interacting and engaging, and because he was just a folksy, fun fellow in between all the craziness. And I was going to say, because you were in New York, obviously, in '67 when he came on the show. Then he's on, for 6 months. Then he's gone, and he's back 6 months later. So I was wondering, as far as going back and forth, because he would go to he would go to LA and work. So you and your mom would come with him, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Sometimes he would go alone, but he went back and forth many times. I was so young, I don't remember each and every time, but I do remember the 3 trips across country. He had me smoke a cigar when we entered California at 6 years old, and I didn't feel too good afterwards, I remember. I always remember when both my parents smoked, and we had this big 1961 Cadillac, and they would smoke, and I wouldn't say anything, and I'd lay on the floor, and I'd put my head underneath the front seat, because it's a big box seat, to try to avoid the smoke. I don't know why that came up. I'm just thinking of this story. Woe's me. Poor boy.
Tammy, you really were just John's, you were like Mother Teresa with that guy.
Exactly.
He taught me a lot. He knew that I went along, I tried to help him out, and then he'd want to fight. He'd push for a fight. He'd keep poking and poking. And finally, one day, I finally let him have it. I can't even remember what it was. And then he said, "That a girl?" And I went, "Oh, okay, I got you now." So we did a lot of that back and forth sparring. He loved it. That made him happy.
He loved the art of,
He loved the art of sparring, and I learned good. He was a great teacher at that.
A contrarian. He liked to be a contrarian.
Oh, he did the things he
But
would.
he was very righteous about what he, and he just and he loved things. He loved the Polish Air Force. I'd get him books. There were certain things he just had this, and of course, baseball statistics and the racetrack, and fine food and.
Oh, food. Talk about food. I don't know how many times he told me about a peach he had when he was in Japan. Oh, that peach. Like the way he described this peach. He goes, I can still remember. I probably heard that 5 times. I'm like, wow, that peach must have been something. The poetry in him. He really enjoyed watching the Judy Garland show.
He loved Judy Garland. He loved Bobby Darin.
Yes.
He loved to talk about acting, and we'd always have conversations. The best actors. Hal Spencer Tracy versus Henry Fonda. And blah blah blah.
And that's what he did. He watched a lot of those old black and whites, and he just loved them.
Turner Classic Movies was his
that was
go-to.
constantly on, and he could watch them over and over. And he would practically cry when Judy Garland would sing "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah." I mean, he would just to the heart. That lady, they didn't treat her right. The injustice. The things that happen. Like he just really felt for women what people were going through at times. And
Yeah.
he would practically cry.
He was
and the music,
invested.
he would listen, very invested.
His humility showed up the best for you, the fans. He realized that was his career, is you, and he realized that he was nothing without his fans. So he, as Tammy, I think, has a lovely tape, a video of him. If we can get it on, I don't know if we can.
Yeah, I would make some videos of him every now and then, and I try to get when he would start talking, you know, about being next to Marilyn Monroe and they were going to do something, you know, in acting class, and I try to capture some of that. And as soon as I put the camera on, he got quiet. This is interesting. But I did go back in my phone and I found something for you guys, and I thought, wow, this is really neat. I got to play it for you. I wish you could see it. Maybe I'll put this on YouTube or something like that.
Oh, there you go. We can get somebody to
Yeah, so you can enjoy it.
Maybe then, yeah.
But so let me see. I can turn this up. And when he say he's just going off and his eyes are closed in this, but he's...
First of all, I'd love to tell you how lucky I am to have so many beautiful fans. That's just a big break in my life, and I totally appreciate it. My life lately, getting old, isn't as much fun as it used to be because the body doesn't allow it. But the other part is I'm lucky again to say about my fans and good feelings that I have from so many other people, including you guys, yo guys, and you guys, all you guys. That's more than 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, thank you. And I'd like to say more, but I'm really not a guy with too many words. So God bless you all. I love you, and thank you for being my fans. Hi.
So that's how he felt about y'all. He really loved you.
Thank you so
All
much.
you fans.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's one story that Jim was hitting on that Robert Redford he was supposed to be the best man, but my dad had 3, 4 really good friends, so he picked a guy that really wasn't even that close to him to be his best man, but Redford was in his wedding. They were best friends for, my gosh, 9 years, inseparable. And they were both coming up. My dad was actually the more known as an actor, stage actor, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then Redford got barefoot in the park, I believe, and he went to LA for months. And something happened in between. There's a story. My father blames it completely on himself for their friendship breaking up. But 30-odd some years later, he gets a call, and he's cast in this movie called Dark Wind with Lou Diamond Phillips, and my dad plays the witch doctor. And Redford personally picked him and just cast him he had no idea. So my dad and I drive out to Tuba City, Arizona, which is an Indian reservation, and we drive, literally middle of nowhere. I mean, it's an Indian reservation, and there's one trailer out, and we walk into the trailer, and I see my dad and Redford. It's just me. Redford's the only person in the trailer, and my dad and I walk into the middle of Arizona, in the middle of nowhere, and they gave each other a big hug like they had never stopped being friends. It was a funny moment, and it was so weird to think that they haven't spoke in 30 years, and I ran into Redford several times over the years. I know he just passed, and he was always really sweet and gracious. I was a baseball player, so was he, and we'd always have a good talk. But funny story, 35 years, 9 years of best friends, 35 years not talking, and then they meet up again in this Indian movie in Arizona. Funny stuff. Anyway, thank you. Oh, Jim had to run out? Jim had to run out. Is he all right? Is that right? Yeah, if there's any questions, answer anything. Right there? Yeah.
Yell.
You mentioned baseball.
Yes.
I know your dad's from Brooklyn. Was he a Mets fan or a Yankees fan?
Yankees fan. Yes. Yankees fan. And we lived right across the street from Shea Stadium. So, yeah.
I'm a Mets fan.
He was actually both. He was. He didn't have. He had. When we came out here, we always used to go see the Mets and the Dodgers. So yeah, we had Jimmy Wynn, Felix Mion. Those are the Mets that I remember back in the day. The toy cannon. Anyway, yes. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good. My old man's from Brooklyn. What neighborhood was your dad from?
Oh God! Let me get it.
Was it a Red Hook?
Red Hook, and yes, and then his sisters lived in. My God, I know we always used to walk to Greenwood Cemetery, Ovington Avenue, right off Ovington Avenue. Jesus, what I'm drawing. My three sisters in Brooklyn. No, he doesn't name the city of Brooklyn. But he actually lived in 3 or 4 different areas in Brooklyn over the years. And his sisters, you think my dad, oh man, his sisters made him look like oh wow. Well, I used to call up my aunt. My Aunt Mary was as crazy in depth that I'd call her up, I'd say, hey Aunt Mary, how you doing? She goes, what do you want? I said, hey Mary, it's Adam. Oh, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry. And then she calmed down, but that was always her first reaction. And he had 2 sisters that were like bulls, and one was like a saint, Tilly, my face. She always called me, sweet angel, I love you, sweet angel. That's all she would say to me on the phone and give me a hug. She would feed the nuns in the morning, the homeless in the afternoon. She was something else, Tilly, something else. Yeah, and the other 2 were bulls. So yeah, one thing about Mary, there was something, my dad was the youngest, and he had gotten something, Mary got pissed at him, and she grabbed his head so hard, and she tore literally a part of his scalp up, and he still had a slight bald spot from that his whole life, and he would always remind her about it. Yes, sir.
Did you watch reruns of Dark Shadows?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
What was your reaction when you saw a character on the show named Adam?
Oh. That's funny. I don't remember.
Your dad fought him when he had to babysit him, and they got like 1 chicken leg or something.
Really? I wonder if he did that. That's interesting. He told me something I didn't know.
Did he ever tell you?
No. It was a child named Adams.
Frankenstein.
Oh yes. Now yes. Yeah, it's vague, but that's funny. It's funny.
Turtleneck sweater.
The green turtleneck sweater. That's funny. Say that again. Did he really? Oh, how beautiful. Love boat? Oh, a lope. That's like, what? Oh, that's great. Oh, fantastic. Oh, thank you. He really enjoyed that. He did. He loved being around you guys, and like he said, he's nothing without you. And yeah, the outpouring of Dark Shadows. I mean, one of the biggest directors. I mean, they literally made a movie, Dark Shadows, 40 years with our biggest movie star, Johnny Depp. Crazy. I mean, that's the kind of pull it had. How did anybody like that movie, by the way? Boo, right? Ridiculous. It stuck to nothing of it. It just went on in its own thing. You know what other movie he ruined? The Chocolate Factory. Come on. Are you kidding me? The greatest movie ever made, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate, and it was destroyed. I mean, my God. So he did it to two classics. Ed Wood was okay. He did that all right. Oh, fuck. Yes? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I gotta tell you two things. One is, for decades in my family, whenever anybody's asked you something, they want to deny it, you go like, I swear to you, I swear to you, I swear, we're doing our really
Right.
And the other thing is, you mentioned the sisters in the family. What did they think of Dark Shadow?
Oh, they loved it. They loved it. They were so, you know, and they became known in Brooklyn because they were Johnny's sister. You'd go to Brooklyn. My dad would go into Brooklyn. He was like Michael Jordan. I mean, he couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable, yeah. And then he did Cagney and Lacey. So when we went there, you know, we went to New York many times for that also. But it was mostly all Dark Shadows, and then Cagney and Lacey was a little icing on the cake later, obviously. But no, his sisters loved it. They loved it. It actually brought them closer together, and they got interviewed for things and stuff. And Bensonhurst, by the way, is one of the places that we were in. One of the cities. I remember. Has anybody ever been to the Greenwood Cemetery? It is the most haunting place. Wow, what a spot.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous. Yes?
I just wanted to say a couple things. Again, he was always one of the easiest people to talk to at any of the conventions. And he always, you know, when he talked to you like you were one of his best friends, which is one of the great things about him.
Yeah.
That I really love. But one of the most memorable things I remember was the one year that we weren't in Manhattan, he came to Newark. He was a little upset by that. He walks out of the elevator and he looks at me and says, Michael, we are in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, that's right, Dad. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, that's beautiful to see.
It was so much to be, you know, in the city where you could go out and get the pizza places you like.
Yeah.
So just last thing too, he was true, because I sat next to him at the table when he was talking to some other fans, and he would just talk about how much important good food was and not to waste your time. It wasn't. He was saying, a bad cup of coffee is not worth the time of day to drink it.
Yeah, it's funny. We'd always, somehow we got hooked on corn muffins in New York, and we could never find a corn muffin out here. And he was always distraught with that. I said, I didn't even know what a corn muffin was out here. And then I did have one in New York at an old bakery, and it was very good. But you're right, no, he was very, his diet consisted of butter, steak, and vodka. Couple mussels and oysters in on the side. Yeah. Yes? Yes.
You said you like to go to racetracks?
Oh, yeah.
Racetracks. Where do you like to go?
Oh, gosh. When we were in New York, we'd go to Belmont and Aqueduct, and then out here, we were at Santa Anita. He would drive, when we first came out here, I'm a kid, we'd go to Santa Anita or Hollywood Park, and then they didn't have the OTB bettings back then. We would drive to the quarter horses at Los Alamitos. So yes, he was quite the gambler of all time. Yes. That's funny. Yes.
All right, so your father did this wonderful film called Daughters of Darkness.
Yes.
It's a very physically interesting film for him with a lot of stunts and nudity of himself. So did he ever talk about that, or were you on set at any time during that?
Yes, I actually went to Belgium for that, and it was a great, the lead actress, Delphine Seyrig, what a lady, what a beautiful lady. I even remember her presence back then. And he was the only American actor in that movie. No, not the only American actor, and he came up with that nuanced European accent that worked. I thought he was very good. The scene when she's wrapped around him and they're talking about piercing nails through the whatever, talking about the vampire stuff with Delphine. He loved that. He had a great time on that, and it was a beautiful time in Paris. And he just made up the accent on the swing for that. Yeah, just on the swing.
Yeah. Do we
Yes,
have
sir.
a question right up here?
Thank you so much for...
Yes.
Did he take you to the Dark Shadow set at all?
Yeah, it's so funny you say
Went
that.
to the set of Dark Shadows.
Yes. I believe years later, I was in the same warehouse as a club called the Red Zone.
Yeah.
On 52nd and 10th, I believe.
Yep.
Is that it?
53rd, 53rd.
Yeah. And they turned it into one hell of a nightclub that I went to years ago. And I didn't know that when I was there, and I found out, oh my God, that was... And I remember walking into the set, and it looked so fake. It was just a bunch of it looked like a Christmas tree lot, as I remember. Just all the pine trees and I go, somehow it looked pretty good on it. They pulled it off, I'll tell you. But the bat always got me. I actually saw them film the bat and the string. I go, you can see the string. But yes, he did take me there. Actually, many times.
Over here. Speak up, please.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm kind of scared. I'm so happy. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
I've always wanted to know more about your dad and get a sense of what he was like as a person, because this is my first time and I never got to come. And I say this in the most loving way. You were so much like him.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And then for you, I'm a nurse, so everybody, one more round of applause for her, but I do have one more question.
I'll tell you a story about a nurse. Now this, and it'll give you a perspective of my father, how he would act and react on certain things. Now, I used to volunteer at the Children's Hospital years ago. And anyway, we're coming out of a movie, and there's a nurse, and she has the Children's Hospital on her thing, and she comes up to us, and right away I, went right out to meet her. And my dad goes, not now, honey, not now. My heart literally went into my stomach. And I'm talking to her. She goes, oh, it's okay. She goes, people just don't want to be bothered sometimes. And And I'm talking to her and give a donation. Who beelines back? My dad. And he says, I am so sorry for acting like a pig. And he put $200 in her thing, and then she recognizes him, and it happens to be her favorite character, and they embrace in this beautiful hug, and it was so lovely. It was so lovely, and it was, from the one crazed reaction, and then he realized and came back. And he could do that again in 5 more minutes, and do something rotten and then do something great to make up for it immediately. But that's a pretty good answer, right? Thank you, yes.
Let's give another round of applause to Adam Karlen, Tammy McArthur. It's really been terrific to hear some of the stories about our favorite fella named Johnny. And you're welcome to stay and visit. And we've got some more.
Anybody who wants to ask any questions?
Coming up. So.
One thing I inherited from my dad. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.